Bringing you the very latest from across the nation and around the world, this is your Primetime News Bulletin. A very good evening, I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Samadhi Gunasekara.
Reports coming in from Russia say that the country's immigration service has granted entry permission to NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden, who has been stranded at a Moscow airport since last month.
The News First International Desk will have more details on this story. Before that, here's a look at the headlines.
Dayasiri Jayasekara joins the government. Jayasekara makes an expose. Sri Lankan asylum seekers stranded in international waters rescued. Customs investigates a cargo container that belongs to murdered businessman Mohammed Shyam. And Queen Elizabeth visits the newborn prince.
United National Party parliamentarian Dayasiri Jayasekara joined the United People's Freedom Alliance government led by the Sri Lanka Freedom Party today. Making a special statement in the parliament today, the MP said that he would lend his fullest support and strengthen the government.
I wish to conscientiously state at this point that I am leaving the UNP to join the SLFP. Remember that I am leaving Parliament to contest the Northwestern Provincial Council because I wish to inquire into the opinion of my beloved people once again. I will rejoin the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, which has been given a new vision and strength under President Mahinda Rajapaksa, and I hope to continue serving my people.
Subsequent to making a special statement in Parliament, convening a media briefing this afternoon, Dayasiri Jayasekara said that he does not expect to contest provincial council elections by proclaiming himself the chief ministerial candidate.
Not only at the provincial council elections, but at the next presidential election too, I will dedicate my body, mind and heart to ensure the victory of His Excellency President Mahinda Rajapaksa. There may be issues and problems. When these issues and problems crop up in the government, I will dedicate what strength I have and give what support I can to solve these issues and problems in our country. I will dedicate what I can to President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who has become a people's leader, and prevent this country from falling into the hands of the leader of the United National Party, who has become a dictator, a constitutional dictator. I did not expect any position. I told the President that I would be contesting. It is not a want to win the provincial council. Following that victory, he has the right to appoint me as a chief minister. I do not hope to name myself the chief ministerial candidate and contest elections.
Prior to his statement in Parliament, in which he pledged support to the government, Dayasiri Jayasekara spoke exclusively to News First over the phone. We inquired as to whether abandoning a seat in Parliament was not a risky move. Let's take a listen to what Dayasiri Jayasekara had to say.
You obtained the highest number of preferential votes in the Northwestern Province and came into Parliament. Isn't it risky to leave a seat in Parliament and contest a provincial council?
It is very risky. That is why I said that the best thing for me would have been to join the government and obtain a ministerial portfolio and sit with the government. But I am taking this risk on behalf of the people. I wish to inquire into public opinion again. I believe at this instance, all United National Party supporters and Sri Lanka Freedom Party supporters in the Kurunegala district will rally around me. I wish to remind you at this instance that we will bring victory to the people of this country and the people of the Kurunegala district.
With information coming to light that Dayasiri Jayasekara would join with the government, News First commenced 3 SMS and online opinion polls. In the first poll, we asked our multi-platform audience if Dayasiri Jayasekara would leave the UNP and join the government. 61% of respondents to this poll believed that he would join the government. Dayasiri Jayasekara's decision to join the government proves the 61% of the respondents to be in the right, and News First expresses gratitude to them. Dayasiri Jayasekara has now left the United National Party. In the second opinion poll, we asked if Dayasiri Jayasekara would leave the UNP because of the party leadership or because he accepts government policies. 75% of respondents to this poll believe that it would be because of the UNP leadership. At the media briefing held today, Dayasiri Jayasekara expressed the following views.
The leader of the United National Party will not resign. I believe that he will remain in power for another 6 years. Even if he loses in 2014, he will not leave that party. He will remain there until 2018. After that, if those signal posts, the people in the working committee raise their hands, he will be able to remain there not just for 6 years, but for the rest of his life. Him remaining in the seat is a blessing for the government. After sacrificing time from my life and fighting within the party and being subject to his harassment, I did not wish to continue doing so. That is why I left the party. If I had remained there with him, I do not know how many years of my life in which I could have served the people would have been lost. That is why I left. With the announcement of provincial council elections just around the corner, 15 Pradesh Sabha members from the party were pushed out. When a party is preparing to contest provincial council elections, will a leader with any brains ever push away the Pradesh Sabha members who have been close to our hearts and have been like the guardstones of the party and make the party victorious?
ප්‍රාදේශ සභා මන්ත්‍රීවරු අපේ හදවත් වගේ ඉන්න මිනිස්සු මූරගල් වගේ ඉන්න මිනිස්සු ඒ මිනිස්සු එළියට දාලා පක්ෂික ජයග්‍රහණයක් කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්.
This statement bears testament to the fact that in the second poll as well, the view of the public was correct. On the third opinion poll, we asked if UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe would travel abroad just before the election. 76% of respondents believed that he would travel overseas, with the election just around the corner. We will be able to see if the conclusion of the audience is correct come provincial council elections this September.
After pledging his support to the government, Dayasiri Jayasekara made another revelation at the media briefing that was held at the parliamentary complex. This revelation was made in response to a question posed by a journalist.
During your statement in Parliament, you said that revenge would be taken from MP Buddhika Pathirana and you on the basis of one factor. Can you tell us what this factor is?
That is called sexual harassment. In ලිංගික වශයෙන් කරන ලිංගික වශයෙන් තියෙනා වූ මොකක්ද ඒකට කියන්නේ ලිංගික වශයෙන් තියෙනා වූ කැපිල්ලක්. හොඳයි නේද?
Dayasiri Jayasekara, who announced his resignation as a member of parliament early in the day, met President Mahinda Rajapaksa this evening. A number of government ministers and MPs were present at this occasion.
Up next is the newspaper cartoon of the day, which we selected from amongst today's English newspapers. Tonight on Words of Wisdom, we bring you the famous words of the Greek Athenian philosopher Socrates.
The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Socrates, Greek philosopher.
At least 4 people have died after a boat carrying Australia-bound asylum seekers sank off the coast of Java, Indonesia. The BBC World Service reports that at least 157 people have been rescued. It is still unclear how many remain missing. Meanwhile, the Sri Lankan Navy rescued an asylum seeker boat that was stranded off the coast of Mirissa.
The boat carrying asylum seekers sank last night in the seas of the Indonesian fishing town of Sinduan in western Java. International media reports suggest that the boat may have met with a tragedy after colliding onto the coral reef in rough seas. It has been reported that 160 people were aboard the ill-fated boat at the time of the tragedy, and among them were Sri Lankans, Iranians and Afghans. We contacted the Sri Lankan High Commissioner to Indonesia, Nanda Mallawarachchi, for details. The High Commissioner said that he has received information that among those in the boat were Sri Lankans and noted that the nationalities of the deceased are yet to be ascertained. Meanwhile, Australian Coast Guard have intercepted an illegal asylum seeker boat with 38 persons close to the coast of Christmas Island. The nationalities of those on board are yet to be ascertained. The Sri Lankan Navy says that a group of Sri Lankans who were stranded at sea while attempting to travel by boat illegally to Australia were rescued by a merchant ship. Navy spokesperson Commander Kosala Varnakulasure said that the rescue operation was carried out by the merchant ship after it was alerted by the Navy. The merchant ship had rescued the group of illegal migrants who were adrift 290 nautical miles from Galle. The Navy media spokesperson added that 73 persons were on board the boat at the time of rescue. Commander Kosala Varnakulasure said that steps are being taken to bring the group ashore. He added that the boat carrying the asylum seekers had set off from Mirissa. In the recent past, a number of boats carrying asylum seekers travelling illegally to Australia sank in high seas. An asylum seeker boat with Sri Lankans on board sank on the 13th of this month. It was revealed that 97 persons were on board and 88 persons were rescued. It was on the 16th of this month that another boat with 180 asylum seekers travelling to Australia sank. In 2012, 17,202 asylum seekers had arrived in Australia on board 278 boats. So far this year, 15,182 asylum seekers had arrived in Australia in 218 boats. Last week, Australian Prime Minister Kevin Rudd announced tough measures on boat people, saying that asylum seekers who arrive by boat will not be settled in Australia. According to the RRA with Papua New Guinea, all those who arrive in Australia by boat will be sent to camps in Papua New Guinea. The day after the announcement, a rioting broke out at an Australian-run immigration detention camp on the Pacific island state of Nauru. Australian immigration officials said that the rioters destroyed a medical facility in the camp. Rod St. George, a former senior official at the Manus Island Processing Centre in Papua New Guinea, says that camps for asylum seekers set up in Nauru and Manus lack basic facilities. He compares the shelters to canals.
Meanwhile, Al Jazeera reported that the former senior official at the Manu Island Processing Centre in PNG as saying that people have been raped and tortured at the facility. Australia's Immigration Minister Tony Burke described the claims made by the official Rod St. George as horrific and promised to fly to Manu Island to investigate the claims. And up next is Flashback.
Mass illegal migrations regardless of the risk to lives. 18/4/2013, 6 persons are arrested in Batticaloa. 19/4/2013, 44 persons arrested in Aludgama. 16/5/2013, 41 persons including women and children arrested at a lodge in Chilao. Today, 9 persons who were allegedly preparing to illegally migrate to Australia arrested while lodging at a hotel in Hambantota. Shouldn't one think twice before disregarding the risk to life and migrating illegally?